Welcome to this series of interviews for the AgroSolar project. Our guest today is Carmit Oron, CEO at Salicrop. How are you, Carmit?
Very good. Relating to everything that is happening with COVID, but we're very good.
That's good to know. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. So we're going to start with the questions now. So first of all, can you tell us about Salicrop? What are your main products and services, and what market are you targeting?
So Salicrop is actually an agri-tech startup that is located in Israel, and we're focused on seeds. The company is developing a solution, or developed a solution for saline soils. I don't know if people that are watching us knows that one of the most pressing problems around the world is salinizations of soils. I mean, I'm not going to go into details about soil degradation and the problems that we have in soils, but today, crop yield is declining due to all kinds of problems in the soils. One of those issues are salinity. Because of so many reasons, but I'm not going to go into that. But just to mention that 50% of all lands, fertile lands, are going to be salinized by 2050, which is a huge problem. All those data are coming from FAO, so it's very validated numbers, which means that farmers can expect decline in yield of between 20 to 30%, specifically in South America, in Mexico, Argentina, where those cereal crops are growing. We already noticed this problem. And I just finished a call before I just joined you with my sales manager in Mexico. We're coming to those areas and we're saying we have a solution for better yield, increase of yield for corn seeds in saline soils. They just actually hug us. Just want to jump in and just take the solution. So we know that it's an issue. We know it's a huge problem, and we know that farmers are suffering from decline of yield. And when we're talking about millions of seeds, I don't know if people knows, but around the world, there's 1 billion seeds of corn produced every year, which is crazy. Just imagine if 20% of this is relevant for salinity, for saline soils, the potential is huge. And I'm only talking about corn. So what we're doing is we're increasing the yield in stress conditions. And the stress conditions that we are expecting to see in the field is salinity. We're working with farmers, we're working with partners like seed companies to enhance the seeds, to make them better. In that sense, we're very much an impact startup, because we're bringing to the farmers who are suffering today, and they cannot change the soil. I mean, this is the soil they have. The only way that we can do that is not adding more fertilizers and pesticides, just giving them a much more sustainable solution that is enhanced on the seeds, and then they can grow a better yield with those seeds.
Okay, that's a great solution for the problem. So how did the company started? What was the idea behind it? You already talked about the problem that you're trying to solve, but how did you come up with it?
So, I mean, the chief scientist of the company, she's coming from India. Her name is Rucha Gudbole. And she actually tried to grow on a very, very saline soils on the beach of Mumbai in 2013. And she discovered that she did some kind of a treatment or enhancement to seeds. And she found out that very surprisingly that the seeds, after they went into this enhancement process, were growing better. So germination rate was very, very impressive, more than 90%. And then the beetroot actually grew. It's just, just imagine you can grow something on a beach, on really like a very, very saline soil. And then she came up with this idea where it can be implemented on other crops. So this came from her, and then the company was established and started like small research. But in 2018, the company raised funding and actually established a research program and field trials, very, very big trials. So by today, we have already have more than 100 protocols, and succeeded in doing more than 50 field trials in Israel, in India, and we're now starting in Mexico, in Spain, and more.
Oh, great. So were there any partnerships that help you in the process of growing the company?
Of course, in Israel, we are always supported by the Ministry of Agriculture and with the Innovation Authority. We've submitted to so many programs, and the national programs are in Israel, of course, they're very important, first for positioning of the company, because we want to be, positioned as company that was, approved by those, Innovation Authority and the Agricultural Ministry. And yes, we have been supported by those governmental organizations, as well by private investors. So by today, we have raised $2 million from private investors and pre-seed money. And it really helped us grow to the point where we are today. And now we're raising more capital and we're accelerating our field trials and our partnerships around the world.
That's great. So what are the main challenges that the company is currently facing?
So first, we need to, in order to do field trials around the world, we need to be there. I mean, we need to travel, and just imagine how hard it is when the COVID is here and and the travel is limited. In so many countries, like Australia was closed for so many, almost for a year. And also the monitoring the field trials is harder when it's further. And our markets are Southeast Asia and South America, which are very far from Israel, as you understand. So, I mean, the distance and the monitoring when countries are closed, specifically in COVID, are creating like a technical issue that we need to overcome. But you know how Israelis are, as much as it becomes harder, we just, we get stronger, right? So It's not going to, and we actually, what we do is we work with local partners and with local teams. So it will help us grow those activities with local partners around the world. But the challenges is raising capital, is showing, because it's an agriculture, right? We need to wait until the whole crops is there. So we need to understand that it's not fast. I mean, agriculture is something we need to monitor. When we put the seeds of corn in the field, we need to wait 5 months to see that it was actually effective. So, this is also something you have to have patience. You have to monitor the crops. There's a lot of monitoring to be done in order to see that this is actually, increasing the yield.
Yeah. Actually, we were in another interview before, and the person who was with us told us that one of the key virtues that you have when you're working in agriculture is patience, actually. So yes. That's very certain. So finally,
from your agriculture is that it's not a mathematics. It's even if you're doing the best, sometimes it succeeds and sometimes it doesn't. I mean, if you're doing more than 60-70% success, it's amazing because it's nature. This is the way it's done, right?
Yeah, the challenge is there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So finally, from your personal experience, what advice would you give to a person who wants to start a business in the agricultural sector?
I think today, everybody is looking for new innovation and solutions. What's happening today to agriculture is actually impressive to see how the digital world is coming into the agriculture. It's with sensors and with autonomous tractors and with drones, and it's so exciting to see what's happening today in agriculture. You don't have to be an agronomist or chemist or any kind of this. You can come with great ideas. You want to disrupt this category, and there's a lot of room, specifically because investors are looking to invest in impact, and because we have to feed 9.8 billion people by 2050, which means we need to think smart. So there's a lot of room for entrepreneurs to make more impact by joining this category and bringing their qualifications. It doesn't have to be specifically seeds or biotechnology. It can even be like anything that disrupts and bring value to this ecosystem. can be relevant. So definitely there's a need because of the growing population, because of the need to feed the world. So yeah, I definitely say yes. If you are thinking about this, jump in.
Yeah, and it's going to be a great experience to be learning from you, actually, because you're very important. You have a very important position in the world in order when we talk about agriculture and innovation, especially.
But the message is definitely, by the way, it's not only for men, but for women. We're missing women in those positions, in the leading positions of CEOs of startups, specifically in agriculture. I mean, if you're looking at the numbers, just, you know, Israel is a startup nation, right? And it's still, although we are a startup nation, less than 10%, even less than 8% are women-led ventures. We're going to talk about it later in a different section. And I'm really, my role is, I was talking today with teenagers from different programs, and I'm doing that a lot today. Just giving them a whole overview of what's happening around the world, why girls, why women should do the transition and should go into the, you know, into the leading wheel and taking over and giving example for more qualified women to do so. So I'm calling entrepreneurs, both women and both men, to take the lead and join this, because I think it's important to say that as well. That you know, if there's any questions, I'm here to answer those.
Great, thank you very much, Carmen, and thank you for taking the time, obviously, to share your experience with us and with the people who's going to watch this interview. Okay.
Thank you, and follow Sally Crop. I'll be happy for you to follow Sally Crop on all social media.
Great. We're going to post your information on the website so people can actually follow what you guys do with Sally Crop.